Ogedei Khan, was the son and successor of the Mongol ruler, Genghis Khan, and second great Khan of the Mongol Empire. He continued the expansion of the empire that his father had begun, and was the great Khan when the Mongol Empire reached its furthest extent west, during the invasion of Europe. Ogedei Khan succeeded his father in 1229. He was the first ruler of the Mongols to call himself Kagan, Great Khan. His father used only the title Khan. Ogedei Khan was the son of Genghis Khan and Borti. He had three brothers, Joki, Chagatai, and Talui. When Ogedei was 17 years old, Genghis Khan experienced the disastrous defeat against the army of Jamuyaka. Ogedei was heavily wounded and lost on the battlefield. Ogedei assisted his father on several military campaigns, notably against the Khwarezm Empire, from 1219 to 1225 AD. Before he died, Genghis Khan instructed that his empire be divided into 4 khanates, with each of his sons ruling one of them. Ogedei was selected to rule above his siblings as the Great Khan, or universal ruler, a position he was formally awarded at the conference of Mongol tribal chiefs. Genghis Khan was buried in secret place, and Ogedei sacrificed 40 slave girls and 40 horses, to accompany his father into the next life. After Genghis Khan's death, Ogedei Khan was proclaimed as the new Kagan of the Mongol Empire. Ogedei's personality helped maintain the unity of the Mongol Empire, after Genghis Khan's death. Ogedei was able to focus on external enemies, expanding the empire, and consolidating the conquests made by his father. At the end of 1230, Ogedei launched an attack on the Jin dynasty of North China. Responding to the unexpected defeat of the Mongol general to the Jin, the Great Khan went south to Shaanxi province, clearing the area of the Jin forces, and taking the city of Fengxiang. The Song dynasty in South China wished to regain territory lost to the Jin, and therefore allied itself with the Mongols, helping Ogedei take the Jin capital at Kaifeng. The Jin emperor was besieged in his capital of Kaifeng. Ogedei soon departed, leaving the final conquest to his generals. After taking several cities, the Mongols, with the assistance of the Song dynasty, destroyed the Jin. In addition to the war with the Jin dynasty, Ogedei Khan crushed the Eastern Xia, founded by Puxian Wanu in 1233. Ogedei's Chinese advisor, Yelu Chukai, convinced him to reverse previous Mongol policy. Instead of leveling North China and all its inhabitants, he preserved the country, in order to utilize the wealth and skills of its people. That decision not only saved Chinese culture in North China, but it also gave the Mongols access to the Chinese weapons, that later enabled them to conquer the Song dynasty. In the western part of his empire, Ogedei sent Mongol armies in Iran, Iraq, and Russia. With the sacking of Kiev, the Mongols finally crushed Russian resistance. In the next year, Mongol forces defeated a joint army of German and Polish troops, and then marched through Hungary, and reached the Adriatic Sea. Thereafter, for more than 200 years, Russia remained tributary to the Mongols of the Golden Horde. In a series of attacks, from 1235 to 1245, the Mongols commanded by Ogedei's sons, pierced deep into the Song dynasty, and reached Chengdu, Xiangyang, and Yangtze River. But they could not succeed in completing their conquest, due to climate and the number of Song troops, and Ogedei's son, Koku, died in the process. The situation between the two nations worsened, when Song officers murdered Ogedei's envoys. The Mongol expansion throughout the Asian continent under the leadership of Ogedei, helped bring political stability and re-establish the Silk Road. In winter, the Mongol force invaded the Indus Valley and besieged Lahore, which was controlled by the Delhi Sultanate. However, Dair, commander of Ghazni, appointed by Ogedei, died storming the town, and the Mongols butchered the town before withdrawing from the Delhi Sultanate. Sometime after 1235, another Mongol force invaded Kashmir, stationing there for several years. Soon, Kashmir became Mongolian dependency. There was then a campaign, led once by Subutai, which marched through Kazakhstan to attack Eastern Europe and the Volga River, from 1236 to 1242 AD. The army consisted of some 150,000 men, and pushed northwards in 5 different divisions, eventually reaching as far as eastern Hungary and Poland. For the first time, the Western world was presented with the horrifying sight of the seemingly unstoppable war machine, that was the Mongol hordes. Fortunately for Europe, the Mongol armies turned for home. They had heard news of Ogedei Khan's death, and a successor now had to be chosen. Ogedei, having laid down the foundations for a governable empire, that now spanned whole of Asia, died at the age of 56, from a stroke or organ failure. He was succeeded by his son Gayuk Khan, after a brief period as regent by Ogedei's wife, Turagen.